Hello and welcome to Coffee with the Angels. I'm Katie Kiefer of awakentheinnerlight.com and coffeewiththeangels.com. So Coffee with the Angels is where I sit down and I do this writing exercise every morning, and I tune in and listen to what the angels have to share for the day. Sometimes I have a question. Sometimes I'm just, what are we talking about today? So today comes right on the heels of the last couple of days. So originally, I heard conscious versus unconscious beliefs. The actual title, though, is The Unconscious and Personal Power. And so this is really a powerful message. I get a little bit of a kick in the butt myself with this. Today is Wednesday, March 7th, 2018. And I'm going to read to you what the angels said, and then provide some clarity as best I can, however that comes through. So let's start with what the angels say. The angels say, consciousness is awareness. Unconsciousness is absent awareness. When we speak to you about beliefs, it is important to make the distinction between conscious and sub or unconscious beliefs. Katie, you are to help others understand the difference and provide clarity. Now, to ascend in consciousness is to bring the unconscious to the conscious. Becoming aware of what is beneath the surface is necessary to creating your life and experiences consciously. When you are in a state of believing or thinking you are fully conscious of yourself, you are unconsciously in a state of denial. Understanding and accepting that you are a continuous gift to unwrap brings you out of denial and opens the space for curiosity. You want abundance? What is keeping you from being abundant? Want to love the work you do? What keeps you from that? Want your relationships to be better? What is it that keeps you where you are? The answers are never outside yourself. They are always within, and always there is belief involved. Belief is a huge factor in your attraction point, so isn't it best to bring the unconscious conscious? You will always be in a dance with others, yet it is you who chooses your partner, rhythm, and harmony. Every interaction you have with another person is a dance of souls, beliefs, and attraction points. You are responsible for your own responses to the world and for most of your experiences as an adult. No blame, no shame. Leave these behind and claim your path. Make the unconscious conscious. This is how you take control and responsibility for your life and experiences. The moment you blame another is the moment you give your personal power to them. You cannot create your life consciously when you have surrendered your personal power to someone else. Taking back your personal power is as simple as asking, what of this is mine? The moment you do that, you begin to take responsibility for yourself and reclaim your personal power. As you continue to ask that question and get answers, you have the opportunity to make changes. As you make changes, you come more into your sacred self. So that's what the angels had to say today. This was a little intense. This writing actually went pretty quickly, especially compared to yesterday. Yesterday was really strange. But this was really intense, really straightforward. It just came right out, which I appreciate a lot. And I appreciate the angels for their directness and really holding my feet to the fire, because I don't think I've been doing such a great job of explaining things. And I have had an issue with kind of meandering around and not coming back very well. However, I found beliefs today that relate directly to this. So, conscious versus unconscious beliefs. Conscious beliefs are the ones you know you have. The unconscious or subconscious beliefs are the ones that you may have no idea are there. So we have indications and we have clues as to what those might be. So I'm in a conversation with somebody and they are lovingly telling me what's going on and that I can be difficult to follow. And I know this. And I appreciate this so much because this has helped me to go further in and get into exactly what it is in the unconscious that I needed to know. And I know I've known this for a long time, that I can be very scattered. Focusing has been an issue. That's why doing videos was so hard for me. I can sit down and write because I can go back and look at different things and I can streamline it and I can be very succinct and concise. I do not speak the same way that I write. That's why video has been a challenge for me. So the belief that came up, and I worked on this morning. I'm actually recording this video a little bit later than normal because I know how to focus my thought. No, was the belief, and that was on all levels. I know what it feels like to live without mind chatter was no on the genetic history and soul levels. I know what it feels like to live without random thoughts was no on all levels. And I know what it feels like to live without being scattered was a no on the genetic history and soul levels. So these are subconscious beliefs. If you'd asked me why I would have trouble focusing, I might say, well, I'm a girl. I have diffuse awareness, which really does not suit me. I'm far more single focused than diffuse awareness. But that could have been an excuse. It could have been partly absolutely true and relevant, but partly an excuse. So everything that I experienced yesterday helped bring me to being able to find these unconscious beliefs and bring them up to the consciousness so that I can make the changes. Now, this is my experience, and these are actual thoughts that I had, beliefs that I had. I also had the belief that I know how to bring my visions to life. That was a no on the core, the history, and the soul. It was a yes on the genetic level, and I could feel my granddaddy that I never met, but he did cartoons. If I understand correctly, he did some cartoon strips for a local newspaper, I believe in Williamsburg, Virginia. I'm not sure if that's accurate. I'd have to ask my dad. But I'm like, I could feel my granddaddy coming through because he knew how to bring his visions to life. But everywhere else it was a no. And so so it is safe to bring my visions to life was a yes on all levels. So subconsciously and consciously, I have the belief that it is safe to bring my visions to life. And so that is an important thing. So I hope that this helps you with a little bit of a distinction between a conscious and a subconscious belief, because if you are walking around thinking you know what you believe, you know what you consciously believe. The whole point of unconscious is that it's outside of the conscious awareness. It's absent of your awareness. You just aren't aware that it's there. The moment you're aware of it, it is no longer unconscious. This is why shadow work and digging into the unconscious and subconscious mind is really an important thing. And it's a valuable tool, because if you aren't getting what you want in your life, if you're not creating what you aren't experiencing, what you think you're creating or what you believe you're setting out to create. It's all up underneath. It is underneath the surface. So asking yourself the question, what of this is mine? Now, this is the question I have used, especially in my relationships with other people, and mostly my husband and my children. Whenever there's a conflict, whenever I am triggered all to smithereens, my question became, what is theirs? What is mine? What of this is mine? Because I have control over that. I have responsibility to take care of that. When it is mine to take care of, I can do something about that. I can't change anyone else. I can help others make shifts for themselves when they want it, if they want it. That's it. I can help someone else. But ultimately, for every single individual, it is a very much an inside job. We can have help, and sometimes we really need help. We have to take the responsibility and take our personal power in order to create our lives consciously. And I can tell you, I've spent a lot of years, do this, bring this in, learning techniques to make things happen. I've been doing the Theta Healing technique for 5 years. It started in 2012. Is that really 5 years? No, that's more. Well, at the end of this year, it'll be 6 years, so closer to 5 years. But anyway. And the reason I started doing Theta Healing was because I knew that my keys were in the subconscious mind. That was my original purpose, was to do this healing for myself and figure out how to get what I wanted in life. And here I am 5 years later and a whole lot more focused. I have a whole lot better experiences. I'm still on the journey. I'm still taking the next steps. And so the number one step that I had to take was stopping the blame, coming out of the shame, reclaiming my personal power, and really taking responsibility for myself and for my life and for my experiences. And to do that, I had to take a really difficult look at times at what's going on with me. What are my beliefs? And once I really came around to understanding it's just a belief and we can change it, that perspective made it much gentler and more easy because the judgment went away. Being able to reclaim my personal power involved letting go of that judgment and the, well, you should be this, you should do that, you should, that there were all of these thought forms and voices that had nothing, they weren't mine. And they had nothing to do with my path forward. Most of those did come from well-meaning people. Everybody in my family whose voices are truly stuck in my head or ever have been stuck in my head, they had loving intentions. And how can you blame that? How can you be in blame with that? If they're limiting, it's just a matter of changing them. Because if there's that voice that's stuck in your head can be a couple of things. It can have developed into a belief. It could be a belief that they had that was passed down from ancestors or carried over from other lives or wherever it came from for them. And then it's given to you, whether through environment or through genetics. It can also simply be thought forms that are stuck to you. I want to say something very quickly about thought forms. Thought forms do influence us. Absolutely, they do. They can be a little voice in your head. Sometimes they're not that recognizable or that active, is another word I'm hearing to use. But thought forms have an influence, absolutely. And I've heard in some circles where people would say, well, thought forms can be very difficult to destroy. They're easy to create and difficult to destroy. That has not been my experience. My experience is when you connect in with that pure energy of the all that is and say, Creator, please pull all of the thought forms off of me that are other than my own. Thank you, Creator. It is done, is done, is done. And so it is. And then you just watch it. It's like this vacuum just sucks them off of you. It's actually really cool. But then anything that's still there is something you do need to look at. And that may be a belief. And it probably is. Beliefs are almost always involved. Actually, I have heard, as I say, almost always involved. And no, they are always involved. And when we work with the beliefs, then that opens the doorway for us to be able to move forward. And it is the subconscious, unconscious mind where our attraction points are located. That's where 90% of our experiences are driven from. And that is where we create our life from. So when we can get the conscious and unconscious in alignment, and so that the beliefs that are in the unconscious are also the same as the conscious, well, then are they really unconscious? No. At the same time, that energy is still in the unconscious mind. You're just conscious of what's there. And I feel like this is kind of one of those convoluted, weird things that doesn't make any sense, but somehow it does. The point is, you want to be able to create your life consciously. You have to get into the shadow work. You have to get into what is unconscious. The wounding, the trauma, beliefs that, I mean, how many beliefs are you carrying that aren't even yours? They're not even yours. Some of them may be dormant. They may not be active. And there may come a point where they get activated because they were passed down through genetics or you brought them in from other times and places and they're just dormant. But they're still taking up space even if they're dormant. So I'm hearing that is enough for now. And I'm hoping that you have been able to follow me better today than previously. I just did this belief work this morning before Coffee with the Angels. So I'm happy to speak with you. If you have questions, you can go to the full blog post and there will be a link to book a cuppa, which is a virtual coffee, virtual tea. You have a cup of whatever you like. I have a cup of whatever I like. And we just chat for 30 minutes. So if you would like to do that, you can go to my website. You can go to the blog post, Coffee with the Angels, and look for the unconscious and personal power. That's this post. On the YouTube channel, there is a link to the full post in the description. And I'm happy to chat with you because really uncovering and bringing the unconscious to the conscious usually is pretty easy to do. There are some times that it can be challenging. And it can get challenging because the unconscious, the subconscious mind, it's just keeping you safe. And it doesn't have discernment of right and wrong of its own, really. It's whatever is programmed in there. And if it believes it's keeping you safe, it can make it so that it's difficult for you to see what's going on, because it's going to go, this is keeping you safe. Why would I show this to you? So you're going to take it away. And that's that kind of thing that can happen with some things. Not all. Some things are really easy to get to. And the more layers you can peel off and the more you can bring up to the conscious mind, the easier it becomes. And you can learn how to do this fairly easily. And I really do recommend learning the Theta Healing Technique or something else that will bring you into being able to uncover and change at this kind of a depth. So, again, feel free to visit the website, awakentheinnerlight.com, and check it out. There's more information there. You can go to coffeewiththeangels.com, which is the blog, and look for the unconscious and personal power, which is today's post. Check out the link below. You can follow me on Facebook. I have a business page there. And if you have questions, ask. I'm happy to share as much information as I can. So I hope that you have found value in today's video and in today's reading. I got a little bit of a kick in the butt myself, and I'm very thankful for that. And I appreciate that they can be so firm, and yet it feels so loving. And that's wonderful. So much gratitude to the angels, and for you for watching this and tuning in and being here on the planet. Thank you for being here. So I hope you have a lovely day, and I will talk to you next time. Take care. Bye.